From March through September, a morning yoga routine at home feels almost effortless. You wake up, unroll the mat, and flow right into the practice 4 or 5 days a week. But right around late October, that rhythm breaks. The practice drops to once a week, the room starts to feel stale, and on some mornings, you just abandon the routine entirely. It is incredibly easy to blame yourself for this drop-off. You wake up feeling heavy and attribute the change to a slipping slips into discipline or normal seasonal fatigue. The reality is waiting just outside your window. By November, the winter environment closes in on Delhi and the National Capital Region, turning the air into a dense, polluted soup. Even when you shut every door and window as tightly as possible, the fine particulate matter, or PM 2.5, inside a typical apartment still hovers between 60 and 150 micrograms per cubic meter. The friction you feel in December is physiological. The invisible air in your room has simply become too heavy to support a peak state. Until we recognize the physical weight of that indoor winter air, we will keep fighting a heavy physiological battle while mistaking it for a psychological one. We readily accept that a heavy rainstorm ruins an outdoor run, but we rarely apply that same logic to an indoor yoga practice. The air quality completely dictates the physical limits of the exercise. This visualization shows the steady rhythm of normal, resting breathing. An average adult processes about 6 liters of air every minute. But as soon as you begin slow pranayam, or active asana, your tidal volume, the amount of air moved in a single breath, increases dramatically. You start pulling in 9 or more liters of air per minute. Multiply that increased volume by a high concentration of winter PM 2.5, and the math works against you. Over a 25-minute session in polluted air, the cumulative dose of particulate matter reaching your alveoli can be 4 to 6 times higher than if you were just sitting still. The grogginess after a winter session is the physical cost of processing that particulate pulse. Fine particles cross the lung-blood barrier directly into your bloodstream, triggering a physiological inflammatory response. In an unfiltered room, a deep breath becomes a liability. Your increased lung capacity actually accelerates the delivery of fine dust into your bloodstream, undermining the very health goals of the practice. The standard defense against this is to seal every door and window in the bedroom and blast a HEPA air purifier on maximum speed. This chart tracks carbon dioxide levels inside a standard closed 12 by 12 foot room during a practice session. Within just 15 minutes of an adult breathing inside, the CO2 climbs from a normal 600 parts per million to over 1,200. By minute 30, it easily clears 1,500. Notice what happens as the line crosses the 1,000 ppm mark. Sustained exposure above this threshold causes a measurable drop in mental focus and decision-making abilities. At 1,500 ppm, your body starts to quietly panic. The slow, controlled exhales of pranayam suddenly feel impossible to maintain because your brain is actively demanding more fresh oxygen to clear out the accumulating CO2. Your air purifier cannot stop this. Air purifiers filter solid particles out of the air by recirculating it, but CO2 is a gas. Filters simply cannot remove it. By sealing the room to escape PM 2.5, you trade a particulate trap for a carbon dioxide trap. The air might be clean, but a calm, focused practice is biologically impossible. The environment completely shifts when a positive pressure fresh air system is introduced. Instead of recirculating stale air, these systems continuously push filtered outdoor air inside, slightly pressurizing the home and forcing the CO2 out through natural gaps. The physical relief is immediate. You step onto the mat on a cold November morning, and there is no throat dryness, no burning in your eyes, and zero fatigue after your session. You stop huddling around a single purifier. The boundary lines dissolve, and the entire living room opens up as a safe, clear space. This means a parent can practice on the living room rug, while a 4-year-old attempts a child's pose nearby, and a grandparent does breath work on the sofa, all breathing the exact same clean air, without the severe particulate penalties that usually hit older and younger lungs the hardest. True whole-home ventilation removes the physical friction of winter entirely. It stops being a season to survive and turns the whole house back into a sanctuary. Structural clean air protects the continuity of a 12-month habit. It removes the external friction that frequently forces a seasonal pause in your morning practice. Clean indoor air should function exactly like plumbing or electricity. It should be an invisible, structural utility running in the background, making a heavy November morning feel exactly like a bright day in May. Before you roll out your mat tomorrow, grab an air quality monitor and check the PM 2.5 and CO2 numbers in your practice space. If your indoor PM 2.5 is sitting over 15 micrograms per cubic meter, the air is dictating your limits, and it is time to make a structural change to the room itself. Reclaiming your morning ritual and your peace of mind starts the moment you finally see the invisible walls of winter yoga and decide to